To break down the amazing race that is Super Tuesday, Addisu Demissie joins me now from one of the states up for grabs tomorrow. He's a former campaign manager for Cory Booker. Welcome, Addisu. Thank you so much for being with us. So as we mentioned, Senator Klobuchar has dropped out of the race. What is your reaction to that news?
Yeah, I think we've seen a winnowing of the field we thought was going to happen in February happen real quick here in March, but it's the right decision, I think, for her. I think Mayor Pete, same thing yesterday. The only plausible nominees at this point are the candidates who are still in the race. There was no path to victory for her. I think she probably saw that Minnesota was even up for grabs tomorrow between her and Senator Sanders and decided that now was the time to get out of the race and let her supporters pick another candidate who has a chance to win.
And we know how critical Super Tuesday is for these candidates still in the race. Harry Reid just endorsed Joe Biden. Can we expect any other endorsements ahead of the race?
We'll see. There's not a lot of time between now and tomorrow morning when polls open, but we've seen, I think, there's a decent chance, if I'm seeing media reports right, that Mayor Pete will endorse the vice president before tomorrow. I think Senator Sanders may pick up a couple endorsements here and there before tomorrow, but tomorrow is really the beginning of a 2-week sprint. Obviously, tomorrow is the biggest delegate prize of the entire primary season, but March 10th, March 17th has a huge delegate haul as well at play. And so we're just getting started with what I think are going to be the 2 weeks that decide who the Democratic nominee ultimately is.
Now, of course, you were the former campaign manager for Cory Booker. Do you have any sense as to who he may be endorsing?
I don't. I haven't talked to him in a couple days here. I think he, just like me and the rest of us, are taking in a lot of information. A lot has happened in the last week, certainly even in the last 48 hours since South Carolina, and making his decision about who's best in the field. So no news to break here yet, but I know he's paying close attention just like everybody else.
Of course. Now, at this point in the race, do you think there's anything the Warren campaign can do to regain the momentum she had early on?
I do, actually. I think, again, she's one of the final four who really, I think, has a shot at this thing. And a couple of the things blocking her over the course of the last month, one, I think Mayor Pete and Senator Klobuchar both were blocking her with college-educated voters, and now that lane is a little bit more clear for her. And also Senator Klobuchar being out now, she's the only woman who has a reasonably good chance of ultimately being our nominee. And I think those sort of lanes, to the extent there are lanes emptying over the course of these last couple days, provides her a bit of a path. But it's definitely an uphill battle. This does look to be narrowing to be a fight between Senator Sanders and Vice President Biden. And I think tomorrow's results are going to go even further, potentially, to making that clear.
Now, Bloomberg has insisted he will stay in the race even if he doesn't do well on Super Tuesday. The president tweeted about this, saying Bloomberg's political consultants and himself are the only ones in favor of him continuing his campaign. But if Bloomberg really means what he says, that he just wants the Democratic nominee to beat Trump, then what is his strategy behind the decision to stay in the race at this point?
I mean, it's a good question. Look, you can't be sure that every vote that's going to go to Mike Bloomberg tomorrow would necessarily go to a non-Sanders candidate. Again, I talked about lanes in the last answer, but I don't think voters are looking at this thing as ideologically as sometimes we in politics do. But I do think, look, if he can't meet a threshold tomorrow of 15% in a lot of states after spending nearly $750 million towards getting there, if it does look like there's a consolidation around Joe Biden as the alternative to Bernie Sanders, it certainly makes sense for him and his team to take a look at what his path to victory is. But he spent a lot of money, not just in tomorrow's states, but looking forward to Missouri and Mississippi next Tuesday, and then even further to Illinois, Florida, some very big states at play on St. Patrick's Day. He has the resources to keep playing, and if he sees a path, he'll stick around.
All right, Addisu Demissie, thanks for your insight. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tanya.